It's now the health activists from Cancer Alliance, the Treatment Action Campaign, Section 27, and families marched to the Premier's office earlier today. This comes as thousands of Gauteng cancer patients are struggling to get their treatment. This is largely due to a fire at the Charlotte Maxeke Hospital. While parts of the oncology unit have reopened, patients say they're not getting proper services. Now, according to NGO Cancer Alliance, approximately 2,000 patients are waiting for treatment in the province. Some have now been on the waiting list for months and others years. eNCA reporter Slindelo Masikane has been following these developments and joins us live in studio. Slindelo, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So you've been following these the whole day. What exactly is at the center of the march? We know the hospital was gutted by fire in April. We're now in November. That's approximately 7 months.
Yeah.
And we also hear that the oncology unit has in fact been open. So what exactly are the issues now?
The issue really is the fact that cancer treatment here in Gauteng, according to the Treatment Action Campaign as well as the Cancer Alliance, is just not up to standard or up to par. In fact, what they're saying is that cancer patients are dying waiting for treatment. Others are on waiting lists for not months but years as well. In fact, their statement says that it can take up to 5 years to get treatment here in Gauteng. They've labeled this a crisis, saying that something needs to be done. The COVID-19 pandemic has obviously exacerbated the situation, but also the fact that the oncology unit at the Charlotte Maxeke Hospital isn't really fully functional isn't also helping the situation. Now in Gauteng, we only have 2 hospitals that can actually treat cancer patients, and one of them is not operating at full capacity due to that fire, and questions still remain as to why the hospital itself overall hasn't been opened 7 months after the fire itself. And so what happened today was that cancer patients themselves, their families, the Treatment Action Campaign as well as the Cancer Alliance then marched to the Premier's office to demand answers, and they did hand over a memorandum of demands to the health Premier here, the health MEC rather, in the province as well.
No, Slindelo, it's honestly very disturbing when you say that even the patients themselves were marching. What has this world come to?
Yeah.
But what did the Premier's office, or rather the health MEC's office, have to say about this when they received the memorandum?
Well, at this point, all they did was really receive the memorandum, say that they were going to go through it and respond within the stipulated time period. We understand that they are expected to respond at least by the 10th of December, as well as by Cancer Day next year. However, of course, the cancer patients themselves are saying that the situation is quite desperate, and they are asking government to attend to this quite speedily. Let's just take a listen to what some of them had to say to me this afternoon.
I've been on the waiting list for 16 months. I was diagnosed in 2019 with breast cancer. I need to have radiation, and I also have to have chemotherapy and operation. You go there, they tell you that they're going to phone you, and you're using your last resources to go and find out when are you going to have your radiation treatment. And the fear and the anxiety, because whenever, even if you have a headache, you're not sure whether is it a headache or is it a cancer that's spreading.
Sure, Slindelo, that's very, very heartbreaking. It's one thing to be fighting for your life, but here you are also fighting for resources to help you fight for your life.
What's actually quite sad is that some of these patients get diagnosed quite early, early in the spread of the cancer, maybe stage 1, stage 2. But then you'll sit on a waiting list that cancer will spread, and by the time you get treatment, it's at stage 3 or 4, and at that point, your body's really, you're fighting for your life. So I think at this point, the Gauteng government, the health department itself, definitely has some questions they need to answer to, and to ensure that just because we're in a pandemic, that other treatments are not looked into or handled with the same amount of urgency as we do with the COVID-19 pandemic. Because just because people are not reporting to the hospitals, it doesn't mean that they don't actually want this treatment. You're finding now that they actually can't get it. And this is why I think they had this march today, is to actually highlight the need for, a more crucial look at cancer treatment.
No, they certainly have highlighted the issues to us. Thank you very much. That's our reporter, Slindelo Masikane, talking to us on that matter, where we saw some of those NGOs protesting to the Health MEC's office to demand some, at least, attention around cancer patients and the oncology ward.